Hi everyone, welcome to another session by Civils 360 IAS Academy. From today onwards, we are starting a new session on government schemes. When it comes to government schemes, there are hundreds and thousands of government schemes present. So the main questions arise on government schemes is that how to prepare for the schemes and what to prepare. To answer these two questions, the only source we have is Prelims previous year question papers. I've taken 6 questions from last 3 years and let's analyze those questions together and find an answer for these two questions. Let's look into the questions. This is the first question. This was asked in Prelims 2025 and it is about Rashtriya Gokul Mission. This is a scheme that is introduced in 2014. Then why this question in 2025? Because it had its 10th anniversary in December 2024. Also, there was a revision in the scheme in March 2025. So, because of these two reasons, this question was asked in 2025 prelims. Let's look at what was asked. The first statement is about the importance of the scheme. And second is about its initiatives. So, in essence, these two statements are about the objectives of the scheme. So, to answer these questions, you need to know the objective of Rashtriya Gokul Mission. Here, for instance, here the two statements are correct and we will analyze these questions in coming series. This is the second question. This was also from Prelims 2025 and the question is about PM Surya, Ghar, Mufti, Bijli Yojana. First, let us look into the scheme. This was a scheme that is introduced in 2024. That is for Prelims 2025, it is a recent scheme. Let's dissect the name. It is about Surya and it's about Ghar and it is about Muft and it's about Bijli. That means it's on solar energy and it's about house. It's about free electricity. Muft Bijli means free electricity. So, you are getting free electricity from your house itself through solar panels. That's what given in the first statement. It's about rooftop solar panels in residential sectors. So, we'll get the first statement from this question itself. Now, the question is about the ministry. If this comes under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, of course it's solar energy, so it will come under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. But sometimes UPSC may trick you here, saying that it's from Ministry of Power. So you will get into a trap, right? Then you need to look into the question. It's about solar energy, so it will not be Ministry of Power, it will be New and Renewable Energy. And the third statement is about the aim or objective of the scheme. Even if you dissect these two statements from the question, you need to know whether this is about skilling. Then only you can answer this question. For instance, all the statements are correct. This is a question that is taken from Prelims 2024 and this is about Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. This is a campaign, an Abhiyan for Surakshit Matritva. Means, this is a scheme that is introduced to protect or to take care of pregnant women. That is what we get from the question. Okay? And this was a scheme that is introduced in 2016. Then why this in 2024? This is because in the previous year there was some policy revisions happened to the scheme. And also it got mentioned in ICMR report on high risk pregnancies. For these two reasons this question was asked. Let's look into the statements. First statement is about the scheme guarantees something. Okay, we need not go to the details of the scheme, but we just look at the statements. It's about guaranteeing something. That means it is the objective of the scheme. Next is also about the scheme. So both these statements you need to know thoroughly to answer this question. And here is a trap. This is clearly stating that it is about pregnant women or pregnancy. But here lies the trick. It is about post-delivery care. You need to know thoroughly that whether this scheme covers post-delivery care. Actually, it's not. The first part of the first statement is correct, but the second part about the post-delivery part is wrong. That's why the answer is 2. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from Prelims 2024. And the question is about Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan Yojana. The question is about Shram Yogi. Who is Shram Yogi? The literal meaning is laborer. So this is a scheme for laborers. And the question is like the entry age group is asked, and about age specific contribution, and about the benefits they receive, and who can be co-applicant. These 4 are the statements asked. So you need to thoroughly know the eligibility and the target group of the scheme. They may alter these statements to mislead you. The statement first is the eligibility age, that is 21 to 40. Actually that is wrong. This is 18 to 40. No, there is a small difference, but that makes the statement wrong. So you need to thoroughly know who is the target group. Okay. And here the first and fourth statement are wrong because spouse is eligible but not the unmarried daughter. So 2 and 3 will be the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. This was a question from 2023 Prelims, and the question is about Janani Suraksha Yojana. This is a scheme for women and that was introduced in 2005. A very old scheme, but why in 2023? Because of reduction in maternity mortality rate. So what are the statements about? It's about the intervention is made by state health department or the implementing agency, and second, third and fourth statement are about objectives of the scheme. Here it comes under National Health Mission, so it is not about the state department, it comes under National Health Mission. So first statement is wrong, and the third statement, second and third statement are correct, and the fourth statement is going like this: it facilitate help for sick infants. It's actually Janani Suraksha Yojana, that is for pregnant women only, not for child. So that statement is also wrong. So answer will be 2 only. Moving on to the next question. This is also from Prelims 2023, and the question is about Anemic Mukt Bharat strategy. This is a scheme that is introduced in 2019. And there was a latest update from Ministry of Health in 2023 about this scheme. That's why it was asked in Prelims 2023. So let's look into the statements. It all about the objectives of the scheme. The 4 statements given here are about objectives of Anemic Mukt Bharat strategy. Here you need to know the objective of the scheme very thoroughly, then only you can answer this question. But you can use a little bit trick here, that is it's about Anemic Mukt Bharat. So anemia, all of you know anemia is about deficiency of iron, right? So you don't need calcium supplementation here, so you can take that statement wrong, but you need to know these 3 statements. Okay. From all these 6 questions we analyzed here, we can summarize this topic, that is the previous two questions we had, how to prepare and what to prepare. As I mentioned in these 3 years questions, all these questions are either current schemes or recent schemes, or an old scheme but appeared in current affairs, or an old scheme that had some revisions. So all these need to be covered if you want to complete government schemes. Current schemes or recent schemes, an old scheme that had come recently in news, or an old scheme which had some new revisions. Okay, and up to what time you need to cover? For last 1.5 years, that last 1.5 years you need to cover current schemes, old scheme that appeared in current affairs, or old scheme that had some revisions. And when you prepare each and every scheme, it is better to do in an organized manner, in such a way that you just take the syllabus. There you have specific mentions like schemes for women, schemes for elder, schemes for children, health scheme, education scheme, and so on. So you can categorize these schemes accordingly and just study it by interconnecting each other. Then only you can avoid the traps of UPSC, right? And when you study, what all topics you need to cover? You should know that year of launching of that particular scheme. You should thoroughly know that who is the target group. You should know the implementing agency or the ministry associated with the scheme, and very thoroughly the objectives of the scheme. You cover all these 4 parts of last 1.5 year current affairs, government scheme part will be over. This is all for the day. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next sessions.